Gel to be something special. Both fighters undefeated, something's got to give.
Frank Wallen, sponsored by Raynham Steel, proudly presents 12 3-minute rounds for the British and Commonwealth Welterweight Championship, live and exclusive on Box Nation from the Olympia here in Liverpool. Your officials are appointed by the British Boxing Board of Control and the Commonwealth Boxing Council. Your 3 scoring judges at ringside are Mr. Richie Davies of All Hallows Kent, Mr. Phil Edwards of Preston and Mr. Dave Paris of Leeds. Your steward in charge is Mr. Charles Giles and your timekeeper at the bell is Andy East. And when the action begins, your referee in charge is Mr. Howard Foster of Doncaster. And now to introduce the contestants. Firstly, in the red corner stands the Commonwealth champion. He brings with him an unbeaten record of 20 wins with 10 knockouts to his name. And yesterday's weigh-in he scaled 10 stone, 6 pounds, 10 ounces. And tonight he wears the black shorts. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome from Manchester, the Commonwealth champion, Denton, Vassell. And across the ring in the blue corner stands the British champion. His unbeaten record reads 15 wins with 11 knockouts to his name. He brings only ever world amateur champion. At yesterday's weigh-in, he scaled 10 stone, 6 pounds and 12 ounces. And tonight wears the white and blue shorts. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting and introducing the British welterweight champion from Birmingham, Frankie, Gavin. Your referee, Howard Foster, will now give his final instructions to both boxers.
Okay, fellas, smoke you both in the dressing room. You both know what I expect. Keep it clean, break straight away when told. Don't watch your heads in close. Good luck to you both. Touch gloves. Just a bit of that.
Ladies and gentlemen, 12 3-minute rounds for the British and Commonwealth Welterweight Championship.
So the talking's over. Gavin against Vassell. Vassell, a fully fledged welterweight. And there are those who suspect that Gavin, despite being a welterweight champion, that he could make light welterweight. Is that going to be a factor? Will the strength of Vassell tell, or will the speed and accuracy and ring savvy of Gavin prevail?
Yeah, well, I picked the Gavin win, but Vassell's not just a come-forward brawler. He's educated pressure, Denton Vassell. He doesn't get enough credit for his boxing ability. He's a good fighter, good boxer more than just a brawler. But he is physically strong, and if Gavin is not big enough for the weight, then he could be in trouble. But either way, John, this is champion versus champion, undefeated fighters. It doesn't get better than this.
I'm told that Gavin has had the best preparation that he's had at any stage in his career. I guess people would say that, but you know, the whispers from inside the camp say that he's prepared very long and very seriously. Straight away, a bit of a clash of heads. Nice body shot from Gavin, who seems to have started well, started nicely.
But a good left hand from Gavin, and again there, for the first left hand was just slightly wobbled Vassell, I think. Caught him square on. Vassell needs to keep moving that head constantly. Can't be a stationary target. Gavin's such accurate when he throws his shots.
Frankie Gavin says, I know his limitations, how to exploit them. Speed and angles and counter-punching. It's another nice left hand. It's finding Vassell an easy target to reach at the moment.
Well, he's just getting his foot on the outside of Vassell's, isn't he, when he lands that straight left on the pipe.
Vassell did a number on Ronnie Heffron. There's the heads clashing again. I hope that's not going to be a problem. I hope we're not going to see cuts determining what on paper is such a good fight. Vassell, a real pocket dynamo of a fighter. He's got a terrific physique. Always in the gym, lives the sport. Works in a bank away from boxing. That's a lovely, lovely right-hand lead from Gavin. Beautiful hand speed and accuracy.
There's worrying signs in it for Vassell. He's so easy to hit so early on, John.
Again, the right hand of Gavin, accurate and fast. And Gavin looking only too pleased to try and match his strength against that of Vassell in these early stages.
Some great timing there off Gavin with that jab, superb. Just leaning back half an inch, coming back with a solid right hand. Heads rubbing together, I think, there, John. And
Vassell told for
again,
pulling him down, the head's going in again. Gavin looks very sharp, and it's a tentative sort of opening round from Vassell, who hasn't been able to produce the sort of intensity anticipated. And it'll be interesting to see how Bob Shannon, his trainer, tries to rouse him. Here's some action from the opening round.
Look at that, just superb counter punching. That's the amateur pedigree shining through. And it's what you mentioned earlier before the fight, John. It's the angles that Gavin's getting on Vassell, catching him square constantly. And I think he shook him up a few times in that round. A bad start for Vassell.
He's going for that left hand, didn't he, down the middle? You see him? Yeah. So go to your left more, keep your hands clean. Remember, you're on the beach now, clip them. There's a little bit thing on.
Water.
Yeah, come on, be water now. He looks tired already, but when you get inside, whip him up downstairs. Yeah. Relax, right? Relax. Yeah, but he looks terrified. He's terrified. He's terrified. Work your jab more now. Work your jab. Go to him. Let him go.
Well, trying to G Denton Vassell up, trying to give him some positive thoughts. Didn't look terribly tired to me, Frankie, Gavin, in those first 3 minutes. Looked sharp, accurate, and it looked as though he got a very good game plan. Vassell needs to narrow the gap and needs to start landing some hurtful punches of his own, because he didn't do much in that opening round.
Well, he's finding it hard to shorten the gap, isn't he? But he needs to keep moving his head, needs to keep staying low as he possibly can. But Gavin is a master counter puncher, and he'll love you coming forward to him all day long. So it's a risky game for Vassell. It's the only way he's going to win. He's not going to win where he is now on the back foot.
Southpaw with lots of mobility, Frankie Gavin. Back trained now by his old amateur trainer, Tom Cheney, who says that really the wake-up call, which made him from just a promising fighter into one who they knew was destined for something very, very special, was when, as an amateur, he was beaten by the great Mario Kindelan. He came back from that and made himself into a terrific fighter. Won his last 30 amateur contests and now unbeaten in 15 as a pro.
Had to take a good right hand there, though, off Vassell, catching Gavin coming forward, but then Gavin pays him back with another straight left on the middle. And again, that jab beautifully timed there from Gavin.
Vassell trying to drag Gavin down, trying to get him out of his rhythm, because unquestionably, if Gavin's just allowed to settle into a nice boxing rhythm, he'll win this fight comfortably going away. Well, Vassell cannot allow him to get into that sort of a mindset.
Oh, good body shot there, straight down right in the middle there from Gavin. But when you're boxing someone who's got beautiful boxing skills, you have to fight at a high pace. Don't give them a chance to get into their rhythm. And Vassell's trying to do that. But at the moment, in its early stage in the fight, it's a 12-round fight, but at the moment, Gavin's still up to the task of countering Vassell as he's coming in.
He's had a bit of a struggle with movers in the past, Vassell. He's certainly got a very, very slippery character in front of him here tonight. And again, you can see Gavin this time, it is tying Vassell up and not allowing him to get off with those hurtful hooks. See people standing around this auditorium trying to get a view, because just one big shot from Vassell. That's a lovely jab from Gavin. Caught Vassell off balance and was pinpoint accuracy. That's right hand though from Vassell coming back in.
The judge of distance for Gavin is superb, isn't it? Just it makes Vassell fall short with that jab, and then comes back with a 1-2.
Vassell's not had a lot of competitive action, has he? Only one fight since November 2011. Foster just telling the two of them just to keep it clean. A lot at stake, and that's another good round for Frankie Gavin.
Yeah, definitely, and he finished how he started, didn't he, with a nice little 1-2. Again, been able to catch Vassell square-footed.
That's a lovely jab.
And he's winning on the straight shots, isn't he? Again, he just takes a little lean back, doesn't he? Just half an inch, just makes Vassell fall short and then counters immediately straight away. Technically superb.
Listen, stop falling on top of your work.
Changing with Frankie Gavin.
Punch and adjust, he'll come again.
Well, winning much easier than running was.
2-punch counters.
Much easier than running was.
Listen, keep bamboozling. You can do a bit more with your footwork this round.
Deep breath,
when you
Frank,
miss,
come on.
on a 2-punch counter, don't fall on top of your work. And that's when the head's gonna. That's when the heads are gonna knock.
Orders 10 seconds.
He's had some quality sparring, Frankie Gavin, and replicating or trying to replicate the style of Denton Vassell. Jason Wellborn, who he beat, Frankie Gavin. He's been sparring him, and also Curtis Woodhouse, who gave him arguably his most uncomfortable night.
Yeah, I remember that night, wasn't he? He almost came unstuck against Woodhouse, who's doesn't get the credit he deserves, does he, Curtis Woodhouse? A good fighter of his own right.
He fought well that night, Curtis. In fairness, Frankie was having some problems outside the ring at the time.
Oh, that's beautiful stuff. Just noticed Gavin slipped a little bit on, and he slipped a few times in that little area of the ring.
Lovely right-hand lead again from Gavin. And Vassell is just having to eat leather every time.
And he's taking those shots flush as well, isn't he? They're not glancing blows, they're hitting him right on the jaw.
Vassell, though, very experienced in his 21st fight tonight. Has a nice body shot from Vassell. Needs more of them, but look at Gavin. He's prepared to try and muscle Vassell around. He knows that a lot of people have said that the power and the strength lies with Vassell. It's as though at every opportunity he's trying to prove that that's a fallacious argument.
Yeah, well, I think what he's actually doing is he's getting as close as he possibly can to Vassell, not giving him room to work, which is a good tactic. He's not going to out muscle or out strength Vassell, so he's getting really, really close. Vassell can't work. Vassell has to push him away. Gives Gavin a bit of space then to do his own work.
Vassell's danger shots are the hooks, particularly I suspect from the right-hand side, and Gavin stifling that.
Well, I guess Vassell knew he was going to have to give away some of these early rounds, hoping to tire Gavin out. Was banking on the fact that Gavin maybe doesn't train as hard as he does.
Now Foster's keeping busy in there, isn't he? There's a nice right hand from Vassell. Give his fans a little bit more hope. Gavin turning the right hand lead into a hook into the rib cage of Vassell. With that southpaw jab, Gavin.
It's all to do with the footwork, John. He's got his foot on the outside of Vassell's foot. It gives him more space, more of an angle to land with that shot.
Right on cue, another one. A bit scrappy. The mauling continues inside. The cleaner shots unquestionably coming from Gavin.
There's not as much success as he had in the first two rounds, which is, I would imagine, would be Vassell's plan. Still a round for Gavin for me, but Vassell getting that a little bit closer every time, isn't he?
Yeah.
Gavin won his British title from Junior Witter back in November.
But don't let him walk you down without throwing a punch. And when he throws a punch, 2-punch counter, 3-punch counter.
When he needs it?
Yeah. Listen, you got to be focused all the time. Do not let him walk you down without him throwing a punch. Yeah? Make him. Fight with the backhand, fight. You need a jab uppercut.
We need it.
He's coming in. He's going under the jab and he's coming in low.
Big press.
Jab, uppercut.
With the backhand.
Yeah, listen, uppercut, then slide out, and as he comes up,
that either.
2 punches, yeah.
Either.
Listen, I want you to be careful because you're suppressing your own work. No. He's suppressing your own work. You're falling on top. And it's dangerous head walk.
Concentration on the face of Frankie Gavin. I heard a lovely quote from Tom Cheney about Frankie Gavin. He said, there's not a bad bone in his body. He said, there's a lot of daft ones, but not a bad one.
But to be honest, I think those problems that he's had in the past, we all sort of play on it too much now. I think they're way past him now, and he's been a professional, proper professional for a while, hasn't he? Putting good performances, training right, living right. But for Vassell, he's not going to beat Gavin with one punches. He has to throw his punches in bunches, in combinations, and keep rolling forward whilst he's throwing those shots.
I thought the old Boxing News article about Denton. Oh, hello. That's off balance. That's no knockdown. I thought the Boxing News article about Denton Vassell was a little bit harsh on Gavin, suggesting that he was the sort of guy who couldn't hold down a proper job for a week. I think once upon a time you could have said that, but he's kind of changed, hasn't he? We've seen that.
He's a British champion, that's his job.
Correct. Heads again. Vassell stalking him, trying to detonate some big punch. Not coming at the moment, though.
No, he's getting to close the gap quicker, isn't he, in this round? Like he did a little bit in the last round. Gavin's still been able to tick him off as he's coming in, but he's getting closer.
Good left hand from Gavin. Excitable and committed crowd. Every decent punch which lands. An instantaneous response, and once again use of the heads, and this time it's Gavin who gets told off by the referee.
Gavin's too sharp and too fast for Vassell to box him on the outside. He needs to sometimes maybe commit to taking that jab off Gavin, then follow through with 3-4 shots. Needs to let his hands go, Vassell.
Punching thin air with that jab.
And Gavin doing the right thing when he gets so close, he's spoiling. Not allowing Vassell a chance to work.
Well, Vassell needs something special here, needs to get into this fight, because at the moment Gavin is negating pretty much everything that he's trying to do. Heads again from a low punch this time. And Gavin's starting to get onto slightly thin ice here. He's been told off on more than one occasion by the referee.
Good right hand there, John from Vassell.
Needs more.
Made Gavin miss and he countered this time.
Now Vassell starts to go to work. Oh, lovely footwork from Gavin, working his way off those ropes there. Another round over. First 3 to Gavin. Number 4, you scored it 2.
Yeah, I still got Gavin. But a better round for Vassell. And I think, you know, if he's playing the long game, he's trying to tire Gavin out.
That was that low blow, the right hand. It was on the belt, really. It wasn't the sort of savage thing which puts a man into considerable discomfort.
But to be honest, the thing I worry about Gavin is he's been a little bit rude with his head as well. He has to be careful of that.
Driving him up now. Driving him back. Clean shots down the middle. Every time you haven't hit with a clean shot yet, but when you hit him with a little one, you see what he's like. Yeah. He's really hurting in there. Yeah. Work the jab. Feint a bit. But when he's going to grab you, he's coming down, uppercut. Little step back, bang. Yeah. Little step back. Give yourself that room. Come on, enjoy it. Come on.
A bit of grease in, Bob.
Don't drag him out. Step it up.
Bob Shannon, who has the dream one day of training a world champion. How he'd love that man to be Denton Vassell. The moment, though, we've got Frankie Gavin ahead here. Gavin, the southpaw from Birmingham, against Manchester's Denton Vassell. And he's found Gavin an altogether more slippery and elusive target than Ronnie Heffron was. That was a nice left hand there from Gavin, which landed fairly flush.
Yeah, the hand-speed and timing of Gavin is at the moment just giving Vassell a lot of problems. Like I said, you know, he's boxing a 12-round fight, isn't he, Vassell? Trying to wear Gavin down, trying to make him work a lot, trying to tire him out, hoping that his training has been a little bit dirty there with the shoulder there from Gavin, but hoping Gavin's training has been a little bit lax. Good left hand again there from Frankie Gavin.
Doesn't move Vassell though, does it?
No, he takes a shot, doesn't he?
Punching a boulder.
That's better from Vassell, just dipping low, nice and low. He needs to come back with the punches now. He's making the right movements. Into Vassell.
Vassell trying to work inside. Gavin going in low with his head again, and the referee will be mindful of that, and it could be another ticking off. Well, he gets away with it this time. That's a lovely right hand from Gavin.
It's a good jab. I think Vassell can take that as long as once he gets caught with that jab, Vassell should just unload straight away.
It's a right hand from Vassell, and his supporters respond, and another one. And a lot of coverage in Manchester as this fight for Denton Vassell. Big article in the Manchester Evening News tonight.
Again with the shoulder there, Frankie Gavin. It's a few times now he's done that.
Vassell's coming up strong, good right hand. That's his best punch so far. Gavin head rock back on those ropes, and Vassell now starts to pile on the pressure. This is what we've been waiting for.
And he took the jab, didn't he, Vassell? Then he threw that right hand. As soon as he got caught, he threw that right hand straight away.
It's what you've been saying, Barry. And again, Vassell forcing Gavin back across the ring. One punch, one big punch, and that's given the Vassell fans real cause for hope.
Yeah, John, and for me that was maybe just enough in a close round just to nick it to Vassell. I think Gavin still boxed well in parts of that round, but maybe tiring a little bit, and rightly so, he's had to work so hard.
That's that right hand.
Good shot, and then Vassell kept him on the ropes for a while, then worked away when he could. But Gavin still being elusive, wasn't he? You know, turning that shoulder, rolling, dipping low, trying to make Vassell miss. Good shot. He rode it though, didn't he? To be fair to Gavin. Having the ropes to his back means he can lean back, take a bit of the weight off that shot.
One step back, bang, and downstairs, isn't it? Don't smother your work. Honestly, come on, Ben. Don't smother it. Don't smother your work. Work the jab, watch your left. Remember, get that body now. Stop do that. Right there, come on now.
Denton Vassell looking altogether happier, I suspect, after that fifth round. And the crowd feel that this one, which has been simmering a little bit untidily and messily, is now starting to come to the boil.
Still needs to keep moving that head though, Denton Vassell.
Nice jab, Vassell.
Oh,
then he walked straight into a right hand from Gavin.
And his knees dipped just a little bit there, John. Could he caught that flush?
It's that sort of fight, isn't it?
Gavin just twisting and turning, isn't he? Not making it an easy target for Vassell to catch.
There's been a lot of holding and mauling in this fight.
Well, to be fair, it's a lot down to Gavin, isn't it? He's doing the right thing for tactically getting close to Vassell, not letting him work. He's the one who's doing the holding, doing the mauling.
So much at stake here as the heads clash once more. Nice body shot. Good right hand from Vassell. Ah, it's a nice right hand from Gavin, who uses his footwork as well to get away. Vassell trying to power on the pressure, but just can't find the big, clean shot he needs. Good work from Gavin again, defensively.
Oh, he's boxing beautiful.
Oh, lovely left cross. Beautiful shot from Gavin.
And Vassell just finding him too hard to hit, isn't he?
Times Gavin makes Vassell look cumbersome.
Again, good jab.
Good round this for Gavin thus far.
Yeah, Vassell tried to put pressure on him, hasn't he? But he's just been caught coming in. Gavin's footwork's been superb.
Beautiful. Right hand, left hand, Gavin. And look at the way in which his confidence is growing. Inviting Vassell to come in now. Gloves held low. Nice left hand again from Gavin, who boxed beautifully in that round.
We see it now, that backhand caught him flush. His legs just dipped just ever so slightly, didn't they, Vassell? He takes a good shot, and his fitness there kept him on his feet, I think. And then that was a right hook that you pointed out, John. And then he just span away lovely, didn't he, into the space. Vassell tried to chase him on, but Gavin picked him off again.
Listen, concentrate on the next round. Not the ones I just talking about. The ones are gone are gone, yeah? Let's get the ones in the back coming up the front, yeah? They're done. Let's win the ones coming forward.
Deep breath, Frank.
Tom Chain, you suspect, only too well aware about the fitness and the engine of Denton. Vassell get those rounds in the bag.
Well,
into the second half of the fight.
He's telling Gavin to stay focused. He's saying, forget about the rounds that you won. Worry about the rounds that you've got to win. And that's really good advice for someone like Frankie, who can't switch off at times.
Halfway stage of the fight then. We've got Gavin well clear. But Vassell so dangerous.
That's better from Vassell again. Stay nice and low, move that head.
Lovely.
He just can't close the gap, can he, Vassell? He's looking for angles, he's trying to move his head a little bit, but Gavin's just so accurate.
He's fought defensively, such a cute fight, Gavin. It's not always been pretty to watch, but Vassell has just not been able to get to him.
You know, when he does get close, he twists and turns, ties him up, gets close as he possibly can to him, doesn't give him opportunity to work. Because when Vassell has been allowed to work, he's landed with some good shots, but just hasn't been often enough.
Speed of Gavin again, bamboozling Vassell.
Vassell just waiting a little bit too long. It's only like half a second too long to let the punches go. That's enough time for Gavin to move or throw his shots.
Vassell has not really found the answer to the simple fact that Gavin is a southpaw.
Yeah, he hasn't been able to get his foot on the outside for a start. He hasn't been able to get the territorial advantage.
Another round for Gavin. Vassell is starting to look a bit disconsolate as he goes back to the corner.
Yes, but you've got it open all the time, haven't you? Is it all right, jaw? Yeah. Sure. Yeah. You sure that jaw's all right?
Is jaw all right?
How do you feel that jaw there?
Struggling, like he's struggling with it to me.
Well, the referee spotted something with Denton Vassell's jaw, I think.
We'll let a look at that jaw now.
And he's calling the doctor to have a look. I'm not sure that this is going to be going on too long. Referee, the doctor shakes his head. Now let's have a look at this.
Is it painful? No?
You see a swelling on the right-hand side and bleeding inside.
No, it's broken.
Referee Howard Foster spotted that and he's worried that he might have a broken jaw. It's going to be all over, it stopped it. They pulled him out, they pulled him out. His jaw had gone. The fight's all over. Denton Vassell beaten by the speed and the accuracy, the tactics of Frankie Gavin, who tonight fought a very, very smart fight. It was on the line. If he'd lost tonight, it would have been a very, very difficult rebuilding job. But he boxed, in my opinion, very well tonight, Barry.
He came up against his biggest challenge tonight, John. I'm comfortable with flying colours, boxed superb. Against an undefeated fighter who could punch, was strong, was technically quite good, and Gavin just schooled him. It's horrible to say, but he did. And that broken jaw was a testament to Gavin's accuracy, hitting him right on the button every time.
Well, broken jaw we suspect, but there is certainly a swelling there, and the doctor had a close look. And quite clearly they weren't happy that he should be allowed to continue, even though Denton Vassell said it didn't hurt. But he was banging in some big shots. That might be one which caused the damage, but there were plenty of others as well. Gave it his best, Denton Vassell, but he couldn't cope with the slippery southpaw skills of Frankie Gavin.
He was just superb tonight, wasn't he? And as we suspected, on his game, he's a world-class athlete. And if he can, and he's dedicated now, and he's proved it. And look how another phenomenal performance, and we'll be looking at another future world champion.
He has got so much talent, this fella. Some people would say, is he properly a welterweight? Well, he's beaten a fully fledged welterweight here.
Yeah, that's right, you know, and I think Vassell didn't do too many things wrong either. You know, he done a lot of the right things. He tried to steal Gavin's space, tried to dip and roll his head and move forward. But Gavin's just so accurate, isn't he? His distance and time is exceptional, and his accuracy is second to none. And Vassell just got beat by what proved to be the better man.
There is Frankie Gavin, now undefeated in 16 fights. Definitely top of the domestic pile. The question is, how quickly does he move on to world level? It's getting closer, quite definitely.
Yeah, you wouldn't, well, there wouldn't be too many fighters, especially in Europe, you wouldn't be afraid of putting him in with right now, isn't there?
I can think of one, Kell Brook, who'd fancy the task.
Be a hell of a fight, John, that's for sure.
And Frankie Gavin is somebody who I have always thought is going to go all the way to a world title, and I haven't seen anything to dissuade me from that opinion tonight. He boxed really well. Denton Vassell, ultimately, it's tough to say, but he was outclassed. And now here is confirmation of the result from Michael Burtis.
Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for both boxers. At the end of the 7th round, your referee has stopped the contest on the advice of the doctor. So the winner and the British and Commonwealth welterweight champion in the blue corner from Birmingham, Frankie Gavin.
Sporting applause from Denton Vassell. Frankie Gavin has both belts. Vassell knew how good Gavin was tonight, and he continues to move onwards with a very valuable win indeed.
All right, son, I want to be out. Thanks very much indeed, John. It was and we sometimes overuse this, that was a masterclass. There were moments there in the first round, the third round, the sixth round that were close to Gavin at his brilliant best. We tend to forget he gave Tischenko a boxing lesson at the World Championships. A year later, Tischenko walked to a gold medal in Beijing. That's how good he is. Did it all come together tonight for Frankie Gavin, Stevie?
It came together, and you know, usually when there's an injury stoppage, you call it inconclusive. But apart from, I think it was round 5, it was as inconclusive. It was a conclusive win. Yeah. It was pretty much a one-horse race, Steve. I mean, I think it was the 6th round. There was a left hand at the start of that round that was sensational, right behind us here. Yeah. And then you spotted one at the end of that round. The 6th round was perfection. It was a magnificent performance.
Tony, you mentioned earlier on you're a boxing fan, and we know you've kept you late here tonight. I really appreciate your time. It must have been pleasing for you watching an operator like Frankie Gavin with those skills, that eye.
Oh, definitely. It was a masterpiece. It could have been any one of the right hands that broke his jaw. He hit him with so many of them. It was almost an insult when he missed the right hand. So, but it was a great fight. It was a great win for the champion. I'm happy for him.
Yeah, it certainly was a great win. We can go over now. John Rawlins there. The kid, Frankie Gavin, is smiling. Francis is there. Take it away, John.
Frankie, well done. Well done. Both belts now. Tell us about your performance. How did you assess it?
You know, I was expecting more from him, to be honest with you. I don't know what it is. I get really nervous. I don't believe in my own confidence and believe what I've got sometimes. But I'm addressing it better and better each fight. And I get in there and I make him out to be the strongest, the biggest puncher. And I make him out to be this good. And then a little bit through the rounds, he ain't that strong. Can't punch that hard. He ain't that quick. He ain't this, he ain't that. And as I'm knocking him down, I'm knocking me up. And I just feel like I'm getting better all the time. And now, hopefully now, we'll get kick-started now. I've obviously got the best promoters behind me. We've got like only TV channel, so as long as now we get talking, we get busy, and there's no reason, the sky's the limit really, I think.
We were talking about your accuracy, about your jabs, and about your tactics being spot on tonight. Yeah, before the fight, my trainer said, listen, when you don't miss, so when you throw, once you start throwing, the fight gets easy, because you don't miss. And I've just got to get the confidence to start off like that. Now, most definitely, I'm number 2 in Britain now, easy behind Cal Brook. But at the same time, Cal Brook ain't beat no one better than Denton Vassell, in my opinion. Or no one up there. I'm not saying I'll beat Cal Brook, but give me a few fights and I'll beat anyone in Britain. And I mean anyone in Britain. Once I start getting off, getting busy, I prove to you there I don't miss when I'm throwing. I'm not saying I'm the biggest puncher, but I punch hard enough, 8-ounce gloves, and I'm getting better all the time. Well, I don't think Kell Brook finds it exactly easy to make welterweight. You're in the top of the pile so far as Britain and Commonwealth concerned, and you are making it. Do you feel happy now that this is most emphatically your weight? Because there's still those whispers about people saying he could still fight at 10. I hear stupid people on internet forums telling me I can make lightweight. I'm thinking, sorry, how can I make lightweight? I'm 5'9½". I'm filling out all the time. There wasn't much difference between me and Denton then. If you look outside the weigh-in yesterday, all he is, he's more ripped than me. But I'm getting ripped more all the time, and I'm training hard, and I'm living the life. 12 weeks I stayed in camp for this. And 12 weeks I didn't mess about, didn't go anywhere for a crap meal. I just lived a life. And just on the Saturday I have a cheat meal, that's it. I'm now believing in myself because I'm living the best life I can live. With my family, I've got my 2 kids, and I'm just happy. Francis, promotionally, I mean, the crowd loved him tonight. He's taking it seriously, looking good. Onto the world level at some point? Yeah, of course, onto the world level at some point. But you know, that Kell Brook fight is definitely something that we'd be chasing. You know, and I think now Frankie would give him a great fight. But you know, there's a couple of fights that I think that Frankie also wants before that. But just going on off that performance was fantastic, absolutely great performance, and I thought he started to look a little bit disheartened with himself in the second round, but then very quickly picked himself back up again, and you know, and just stuck at it, picked his shots, didn't waste one, and you know, Denton tried to come in and spoil, didn't let it, used his footwork fantastically well. One time I think Denton had him pinned on the ropes and just spun him, brilliant.
Absolutely fantastic performance.
Frankie, last one. The fans have loved you tonight and they've given you terrific support. Just a word for them.
Just thanks to everyone. Birmingham, not Blues, not Aston Villa, Birmingham. Thanks to everyone who's behind me. I could also hope Dean Powell gets well soon as well, because he's a bit ill today, so he couldn't come here and be in my corner. But he wished me the best and all that. And sky's the limit, really. Let's keep winning.
Well done, Frankie. Keep it going.